I'm sitting in the kitchen at my friend Dawn's house on a late September morning. 6 of us, friends since we were 18, have been at a 20-year university reunion the night before. The remains of bacon sandwiches, half-drunk cups of coffee, and crumpled newspapers are strewn across the table. Pretty much everyone is hungover apart from me. I wasn't drinking because I was performing stand-up last night as part of the event, and therefore was the designated driver. Everyone's faces are frozen with that morning after half-panic contemplation of what can be remembered of the night before. Bad things happen when people who are nearly 40 go back to a place where they were once 18. People were drinking port from the bottle at 2 a.m. One of my friends had to be tied to a chair because she kept trying to lean seductively out of a second-floor window. There was one excruciating moment when someone tried to start a disco in the room where we were partying by playing music on an iPod and turning the lights out and switching an angle-poised lamp on and off repeatedly. There was some middle-aged attempts at dancing. It was at this point I announced the designated driver was tired and going home. Anyone who wanted a lift would have to untie themselves from their chair and get ready to go. In my sober state that morning, I became a conversational target for Dawn's mother, Rosemary, a formidable practical woman who'd come round for Sunday lunch. Rosemary is a force of nature. No one is really up to holding a conversation with her. She's berating me for leaving early. I should be staying for lunch, and I'm not. I'm getting ready to leave. I would love to stay, but I have to get to a gig in Brighton, I explain. As soon as the words come out, I realise I should have lied. I should have said, I need to get home to cook dinner for my family. Or I need to get home to read my children the next chapter of Little House on the Prairie. Or I need to get home to embroider my husband's name lovingly onto a pillowcase. Rosemary raises her eyebrows. We are near St Neots in Cambridgeshire. Brighton is easily 2 hours away. She knows I have 3 children pretty much the same age as her daughters. My youngest child is just 1 year old. Brighton? A gig? What is a woman of my age doing driving to Brighton for a gig when I've already just spent the weekend away from my husband and children at a reunion? Rosemary looks at me half quizzically, half accusingly. A gig? She says the word as if I have just told her I have become a prostitute. What sort of gig? I've started doing stand-up comedy, Rosemary. A startled reaction. Stand-up comedy? Like Michael McIntyre? Her eyes start to pop slightly. The expression on her face is not unlike that of Dame Maggie Smith when she learns of the invention of the telephone in Downton Abbey. It's not exactly Michael McIntyre, I reply, as a picture of Michael McIntyre's £3 million McMansion pops up in my mind's eye. But yes, sort of. Where do you do that? Everywhere I can, but mostly in London. Do people think you're funny? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But Michael McIntyre is funny all the time. Yes, I'm sure it appears that way. Do they pay you? Sometimes, mostly not. It takes a long time to get good enough to be paid in comedy. Another raised eyebrow. I'm waiting for her to say, Michael McIntyre seems to earn good money. But she does not say this. Instead, she says what people always ask. What is your shtick?